beet juice. I didn't have my green juice. It is Monday morning. I'm in the Chicago office. Busy week this week. I'm flying to Geneva, Switzerland for client meetings. In the meantime, this morning, I have a Facebook Live event. I'm then meeting about 30 or 40 DePaul freshmen that are new to college, that are new to Chicago, and we're gonna talk about, I don't know, career tips, how to be successful in college. I wing this stuff if you haven't figured it out. This week, given all the social media things that I'm doing, I figured we would talk about personal branding. What can you do at any point in your career to start to create a personal brand? Let's get this week going, shall we? Get it set up. Thank you. That's Shabani. All right, go to Facebook, check it out. Oh,
yeah. I mean, magnets, the Paul magnets. Can we thank these guys for a fantastic?
That was DePaul. That was fun, huh? All right. Thank you, sir. Okay. So the good news is I got a personal drive over to Terminal 5. The bad news is I missed my connection.
Made it to the shower facility. He's gonna get a shower in, head to Geneva, go from Geneva straight to the meeting.
All right, I finished all day client meetings. I got a nice view here of Geneva. Really, the personal branding starts with just how you interact, how you behave, how you treat people. Because that, first and foremost, is going to be the #1 factor as far as your personal brand. Are you a good person? Are you nice? Do you treat people fairly? And are you respectful? And that's really where it starts. Just, you know, be nice to people. Barb Bukovac. Barb has been in a couple of prior vlogs. I think this is the first major speaking role
yes.
that she's
And
had.
I think the first one internationally as well.
Right. Barb is now a vice chairperson?
Vice chairman.
Vice chairman. We don't call them chairpersons?
No, we don't. I'm the regional vice chairman for the Central and Midwest region.
Barb is somebody who has been just a great spokesman for the firm on social media, just really introspective, a big advocate for women, and somebody who I admire and think of as having a very strong personal brand. And so this week we're talking about personal branding. And what does personal brand mean to you?
Well, personal brand is really what people think about you in terms of you know, what you're bringing to the table and what you want to be known for. But it does change over time, and I think it's really critical that you invest in yourself in terms of developing that personal brand. And part of it is within yourself, but it's also in how you're helping others to develop their personal brands. The brand that I was developing was one that you know, would be consistent with the types of opportunities that I wanted to be positioned for.
What are some things that the young people new in their careers can do, and what should they be focused on as they're trying to build a personal brand?
Most people that are watching this blog do have an online presence, which is, as Doug says, is a personal brand. And so you do have to be cognizant of what you're posting to make sure that that's consistent with the image that you want to provide. You know, when you think about your executive presence, that is really critical, and you should start developing that now. I mean, you know, whether it's through your communication style, whether it's through your mannerisms, The listening techniques, that's really critical when dealing with teams of people, and communication style. I also think appearance is very important in terms of being consistent with, again, the brand that you're trying to project.
Personal brand really starts with, how do you interact with your bosses? How do you interact with your clients? How do you interact with your peers and the other people on your team? Right, in my view, that's really the most important thing, is that you want to establish a brand with those people, a reputation, so that they know that you're a hard worker and a nice person and fun and everything else. And I think sometimes it's really easy to get focused on kind of the macro aspect of a personal brand, when really you want to impress and you want to make not necessarily impress, but you want to be able to be distinctive, in your work.
I agree with you. I think kind of at the beginning of your career, things like being hardworking and being consistent and having high quality are very critical. And also, showing up, ready to go, and being somebody's, right arm, if you will, in terms of being a very dependable person.
One of the things that I've noticed about you, you've been just a fantastic mentor, particularly to other women within the organization, and really teaching confidence, not just women, but to your entire teams. What advice do you have to the women in the audience as far as what they can do to try to increase their personal brands, and what experiences have you had with that, and why does that maybe make it more difficult, if at all, for women?
I have confidence today that I really didn't have when I first started my career. I mean, even though I was a good student and got a job at Price Waterhouse at that point, and I felt very confident about that. I didn't really have the confidence in all of the experience yet, because I really had very limited experience. And so it really was building, my capabilities, being very open to assignments, and really communicating with others to make sure that that I was meeting expectations and getting that feedback very openly. But I do think that, and it's been shown in research, that women are generally not as confident in their own abilities, especially if they haven't had that particular experience. They aren't saying, well, of course I can do that, just because I've historically been able to do similar tasks in the past. And so part of our responsibility, and I feel like it's really part of my responsibility in coaching other women, is to provide the confidence in them that they might not think that they have in themselves. I really feel like I've had a lot of other partners do that for me. And so I feel a responsibility to do that for others.
Check out Barbara's LinkedIn page. I'll link it below. And some really thoughtful pieces on mentorship and leadership that I'd like to share, and then also include Barbara's Twitter account. Barbara Bukovac, Vice Chairman of PwC, tax partner, friend. Barb, thanks for joining the Doug McConey vlog.
All right, thanks much. Okay.
Had a fantastic dinner with clients, and we're walking around the old town. It's still raining here, but I'm not going to melt. Look at this. It's Geneva. It's fantastic. Can you see how cute this is? So I'm flying back to Chicago to see the girls. Looking forward to getting home. There are several things to take away from a personal brand perspective. First of all, it's never too early to start to build that brand. Think about your brand and everything that you do in the workplace, and everything you do, frankly, outside the workplace, as a reflection on you. Thanks for tuning in. Special thanks to Barb Bukovac for agreeing to be on the Doug McConey vlog. Work on that personal brand. If you like this vlog and you like what you see, I know I changed things up a little bit last week. If you like what you see, smash that like button. Tune in next week for another exciting edition of the Doug McConey vlog.
Don't see things the same. To walk like two out the door. Then you have